Donald Trump. I know we don't want to talk about him, but he has spent the last week doing all he can to incite death and destruction, while Marjorie Taylor Greene and other House Republicans visits jailed January 6th insurrectionists they are calling political prisoners. Welcome to MOMocrats Mama Chat, part of the Demcast family of podcasts. I'm Donna Schwartz Mills with Aliza Worthington and Karoli of crooksandliars.com. And Aliza's already started drinking because that's the kind of week we've had.
I know, right? It's like
I just brought the whole thing with me because I figure I'm going to need refills.
Okay.
You know.
Aliza drinks herself under the table episode.
Oh, yes, this is going to be that episode.
All righty.
Yeah. So where do we begin, ladies?
If I start slurring, just, you can give me the signal. I'll black out my, I'll put myself on mute.
Well, I guess we should begin with the fact that Trump is laying the foundation for going to Waco and starting violence. I mean, it's not an accident that he's doing his first big rally in Waco, Texas.
It's very similar to him doing one in Tulsa in 2020 on the anniversary of a massacre. Right. I don't think he's a student of history, but Stephen Miller is.
I was going to say his aides are, if he's not.
His aides are, and he's not ignorant of symbolism.
No,
not at all. And so the whole martyr the wingers thing. So and the stuff that he's been sending out on Truth Social has been just awful. I mean, that isn't even a good word for it. It's incendiary, what he's doing. Again, it's the same kind of shit he did on January 6th.
Very much so.
I mean, it's the kind of thing if you or I did it, might get us a knock on the door from the Secret Service.
Oh, totally.
And
or the FBI. I mean, one or the other.
And Alvin Bragg has already gotten a death threat, a mysterious powder that they have deemed harmless, but it came with a message: "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah. Only one death threat. I mean, I'd be surprised.
Well, that's one because of the white powder that made the news, but I'm sure there's many more than that.
Oh, guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah. So that's lovely. I mean, we basically have a guy fomenting a revolution in the country and not just not a righteous revolution. This is all in his name.
I wouldn't even dignify it by calling it a revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution has sort of a patina of righteousness to it.
Yeah, there's no righteousness here.
They're righteous.
I mean, the idea of those January 6th insurrectionists being called political prisoners is just, and then she's whining because they had to paint this, the place where they are. Like, excuse me, I didn't know that they were supposed to have maids and, cocktail service at 5. What do you think? They're in jail.
They had to what? The place that they are?
They had to paint. Like their job is to paint the jail.
So they have duties while they're in jail.
Right. Oh, they're not just sitting on their ass stewing.
It's not a spa day for them?
No, it's not. No, and there's no maid service either. Nobody turns down their bed at night. I guess this is a problem.
Didn't think that. Is that seriously she thought they got that other people made?
No, I'm being sarcastic about that. But she did complain about the painting part, though.
I wouldn't put it past her to be like, oh my God, they have to change their own sheets.
Oh,
Like, I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. She's dumb as a stupid rock.
Bag of hair. She really is fucking. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of her when she is presiding over the house.
She's like, I can't. There's only so much I can take. Seeing her in that chair. Oh my God. That used to be occupied by Pelosi.
As Speaker of the House, and then it goes to Kevin McCarthy and the clown car.
Right.
And
it's
and thanks a lot, New York. That's all I got to say. We got George Santos and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hey, look, don't just blame New York. There's a whole lot of reasons that there's a whole
California
lot of
owns some of it too. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, there are a whole. What about everybody who voted fucking Republican? Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. You know, I'm not gonna blame New York, which is gerrymandered, beyond recognition. Sorry, my dog's dragging her butt behind you, butt behind me. But
not taking much to trigger Aliza today.
No, not.
This is like, this is on Republicans. This is on people who vote Republican. I'm not even gonna blame California. I'm not gonna blame New York and California. I'm gonna blame Republicans.
Fair. They own it.
Let them own their crap.
Speaking of crap, George Santos got to a plea deal with Brazil.
Yes.
Today. I don't know if you heard that.
No, I hadn't.
He has to admit that he stole $1,300 and then make restitution.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not. So now we have a dude who's actually like admitting that he's a thief,
right,
and that he stole this money and is now giving it back. And then he's in the Congress. He's in the House of Representatives. It's just like, really? Really, America? Is this what you want to do? So
this is a source of pride for them. Their lawlessness is like, I mean, they are just so proud of everything they can get away with.
Oh,
I see. We had the other kitty today.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to let anybody on the. I promise on the keyboard today.
I actually think that they would have preferred not to have George Santos obviously be a criminal, but
he's probably more trouble than he's worth.
Exactly. It's such a narrow majority that they don't have a choice but to support him.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna enjoy.
He doesn't have like the personality and he's not bringing anything to the Republicans of value. No. The way, I'm sorry, it kills me to say it, but the way Boebert is, the way, he's the way Marjorie Taylor Greene is.
I'm not sure we could say that's valuable, but okay.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. They're headline grabbers in a way that like galvanizes a part of the Republicans. The psycho MAGA element of the Republicans. They have power, and they have something that Republicans want and are using, and Santos has nothing.
Well, Kevin thought he did at the beginning when he touted him as a new Jewish member of Congress.
There you go. Right. He doesn't have the diversity he purported to bring.
Right.
Jewish, right? Like he doesn't even have that. Like he's not, so he's just like a big schlub of nothing.
He's still gay. He is.
Well, bully for him.
It's just, it's not even enough. He's not even gay enough, like.
Oh gosh.
So
anyway. It'll be interesting to see if he survives the next round of elections. I kind of think he won't. Yeah, we'll see. He's filed 3 elections so that
charisma. He's got no.
He raised money.
Yeah, that's right. He's raising money.
The whole thing is a grift. I mean, look at Kirsten Sinema.
Oh, let's not say we did. She wants us to look at her.
Oh, she is such an attention whore.
She is such a piece of work.
But she had like $30,000 in the bank when she was elected. Now she's got $32 million.
Right, because she's sucking up to Republicans. But here's the interesting part. She's getting all the big bucks. Whoopee for her. But on the other hand, if people in Arizona are going to vote Republican, if they're inclined to vote Republican, they're not going to vote for her. No. They're going to vote for a real one. Yeah. This is the thing that Democrats needed to learn, right? And I think are learning is that there's no Republican light. And you can call yourself an independent. You can call yourself whatever you want. There's no Republican light. You either do that thing or you don't. And and she's playing the I'm Republican light game and trashing Democrats and so on, and it's stupid. I mean, it'll raise money, but my guess is that she'll be a lobbyist before
Oh yeah,
2 years is up.
that's where the money is.
Right.
I mean, what you said about no Republican light reminds me of John Kasich's
Oh God.
first appearance on one of the MSNBC shows, and I just cannot believe that they gave him a contract. Now they're trotting him out to every show, and he was complaining that the Democrats should have gotten together with moderate Republicans.
They're not unified. They're not unifying enough.
Have somebody else to be Speaker of the House. And it's like, what moderate Republicans? There are no moderate Republicans.
Yeah. And he's not an example of one, by the way.
He's not. And there were 2 Republicans in the last session who were not moderates, but who cared enough about our country to investigate Donald Trump. And they were rewarded
what happened
by having their careers ended.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they're not that message that
well-timed bark.
Sorry.
Is that, Donald Trump is, our allegiance is to Donald Trump, the Constitution.
Yeah.
And for Kasich to act as if the Democrats are the intransigent ones is utterly repulsive. Thank you.
It is. No, it's not just repulsive thinking. It should never have been on the air on any cable network.
No pushback
at all.
No
pushback. Zero pushback. Like, oh, okay,
news network.
Yeah, okay, Dems fucked up. They didn't. It was just like really, truly. I mean, I tweeted something to the effect of John Kasich is disappointed that Democrats aren't Republicans.
I saw that. Yes.
It's like, oh, well, that's not what we're supposed to be. And by the way, Joe Biden got more bipartisan bills through Congress than any other Democratic president, I think. Big ones, big, important ones.
Yeah.
So please forgive me. Aliza, is your doggy still barking? There you are.
She sort of stopped, but there's somebody across the street who has the audacity to be outside. So that's
I see.
Territory. She's a good girl.
She's a very good girl.
She's just watching over her people.
She's a very good girl. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, John Kasich on MSNBC
she's getting down.
Was just infuriating. Absolutely.
I
and the thing is,
the appeal of bringing more Republicans onto MSNBC,
right?
They don't have enough.
I know. And I was like, who was it? It was Michael Steele sitting in for Chris Hayes the other night.
Why is Michael
I thought to myself, how does that work? I mean, he I could see him sitting in for Nicole Wallace but Chris Hayes is like the most progressive guy on MSNBC.
Eddie Hassan's busy with his book tour.
Oh, that's probably true.
Is that why?
Yeah.
God forbid. I mean, so get Alicia Menendez or somebody.
She's good.
Or
I like her.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like a lot of other people on social media, I think it's really gross.
Yeah.
That John Kasich gets a paid contract with MSNBC and Elie Mystal, who they use all the time, is still not paid.
And he deserves to be snapped up.
I totally agree.
Keith Olbermann's story about Rachel?
No.
Which one? She's done several. Which one is this?
Well, he was talking about this issue about MSNBC not paying their consultants. And so when he first brought Rachel to MSNBC,
oh yes, I did.
Tried to get her on there, and MSNBC said they would give her a paid consultancy, but they didn't. And so he wanted her on his show, and she said, "I can't. I'm doing CNN today." And he went to Phil Griffin and said, "I thought you were going to pay her. We're going to lose her. CNN will snap her up if you don't do this." And he gave them an ultimatum. now who knows if this is right or not, but it's Silberman's story. And so he told her, don't go to CNN, come here, we'll take care of it. The rest is history.
Right.
But, they cheap out on a lot of good people. And I saw, they get rid of Tiffany Cross, they get rid of Melissa Harris Perry, and they keep signing Republicans.
Gee, what do they have in common?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and who have they put on in Tiffany Cross's place on Saturday mornings? I don't watch, so.
Now they've reshuffled things. It's Ali Velshi now.
Okay. Well, Ali Velshi is a pretty good guy, but.
Ali Velshi is good. Yeah. But now they've brought Katie Fang up until, not so early in the middle of the night here.
Okay, well, are we going to talk about the cinema profile since we're still talking about Republicans? I mean, what did she said something about Democratic senators being old men eating Jell-O?
Yeah.
As if there aren't a bunch of old farts on the other side of the aisle.
As opposed to those young bucks, Mitch McConnell.
Speaking of which, can we just talk for a second about the composition of the Senate right now? And I'm just going to put this out there. Dianne Feinstein. So right now we have 3 senators that are out. We have Mitch McConnell, who's in rehab for his fall that he had, like, what was it, 4 weeks ago? Something like that.
3.
And we had Dianne Feinstein, who hasn't come back to the Senate since she had shingles.
Right.
And we have John Fetterman, who's being treated for depression.
Yeah.
So I want to leave Fetterman alone because he's doing what he's doing. He'll be fine. But let's talk about Dianne Feinstein and the fact that she had shingles and she's not back. She's 89 years old. She has health issues. Why hasn't she resigned and let Gavin Newsom appoint somebody for the rest of her term?
It's frustrating.
It is really frustrating. She needs to resign.
Really frustrating, but who's going to? I mean, somebody close to her. I mean, Gavin needs to call her. And
somebody needs to talk to her and say, you need to. The Judiciary Committee is really screwed up because she's been out of the Senate and everything.
So,
I mean, somebody has to say to her, it's time. You have to retire.
I mean, who's got influence with her? I don't know.
I have no clue. Maybe Barbara Boxer. I don't know. I mean, they went to the Senate at the same time. So,
I'm sure that Boxer has been telling her all along how great it is to be retired. Boxer left at the right time. She seems to be having a productive retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and if I'm Dianne Feinstein, I could imagine her holding out for, say, trying to get gun control passed again. But it's not going to happen with this House.
No.
And time is running out. And the best thing Biden just signed an executive order on guns, which is somewhat helpful.
Yeah.
And the best thing she could do, I think, at this point would be just to go ahead and retire, let Gavin Newsom appoint somebody to fill her term. And I'm guessing that somebody, by the way, would be Barbara Lee, because he promised a woman of color and she's running. So it would seem to me that would be the right appointment. And let the Senate race play out in 2024 as it's going to. Right. But at least we'd have somebody effective in there representing. I mean, maybe it's just because this is California, and maybe I'd be that frustrated if I were in Pennsylvania right now too. I don't know, but or Kentucky. But I'm saying that Dianne Feinstein needs to retire, and I think Mitch McConnell was injured or had something way worse than falling and hitting his head. I think that
they said he had broken ribs too.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but still, that's not like usually you go to rehab like for a broken hip or for a stroke, like or something.
So you think that something that
might have happened.
Telling us something
caused the fall,
right?
That would explain the fall.
Us something.
Yeah,
and
we're not getting the whole story.
I'm pretty okay with them not doing anything about Mitch.
Yeah, same.
Because we're likely to get somebody worse than Mitch.
Yeah,
maybe not as smart and shrewd as he is.
But they wouldn't have the power. Is the thing.
Yeah.
They'd come in as like the juniorest senator. So
who's the governor in Kentucky right now?
it's a Democrat.
Yeah, it's
Andy Beshear.
Oh, Beshear, that's right, Governor Beshear.
But even, and I don't know what the laws in Kentucky are about
how they replace their
I wasn't
senator.
even thinking about who would come in as his replacement as senator. I was thinking who would come in as his replacement as majority leader.
Yeah.
Well, John Thune it'd probably be John Thune. I think he's the second in line. So that, meh. One exchange one for the other. I don't think Thune has the same savvy that McConnell has with regard to the Senate. Also, John Thune or in general, I forgot what I was going to say. When that happens, it just like flew right out of my head.
I saw about Kentucky and governor.
Kentucky. Oh, that's right. The Kentucky legislature fixed it so that Beshear doesn't get to a point, which is how it used to be. And basically they pass a law so that doesn't happen, strips him of that power. So
kind of like that's what happened when Evers was elected in Wisconsin.
Same. Yeah.
Which, by the way, the Wisconsin race for Supreme Court
is a BFD.
This is big. Early voting has started. They had a big money bomb campaign yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The Kochs and all the other dark money people are pouring money into this on the Republican side.
Yep.
And it is important. We need to support Janet, whatever her last name is.
Janet P.
Yeah, it's a long last name.
Because
I can't pronounce it.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And it is control over the voting districts. It's everything. It's the whole enchilada in Wisconsin.
All of it. Yeah. And this isn't the first time it's been like this, like where it's come, but it is probably the first time it's been as dire as it has been, because Republicans are so shameless now. They're just stealing elections because they can.
Yeah.
So if they don't have a judiciary that'll step in and stop it, in Wisconsin in particular, where the headquarters of the John Birch Society reside, it'll be a mess. So Wisconsin has. Yeah. Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
The national.
I pictured it in New England for some reason.
National headquarters of the John Birch Society is in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton. How quaint.
Yeah. And so they've just gotten so out of control and so wanton that if we don't, if we don't have a backstop, it'll be hopeless. And we've got a great organizer.
Ben Whitler is great.
Yeah, he's great. But you got to actually have.
Yeah, but people have to vote. Like, they have to get out there and they have to give money and they have to vote.
They have to be able to vote, right? Wisconsin has done a marvelous job of voter suppression. So I say that with all sarcasm. It's terrible.
When is I know early voting started. When is the actual election?
It's 3 weeks from now, I think. Like the first week in April, isn't it?
The Tuesday. So
it's coming up.
Yeah.
April 1st is a Sunday, I think. So April 3rd.
April 3rd.
1st is Saturday. April 2nd is Sunday.
Okay, then April 4th.
I'm looking now. April 3rd sounded right to me. So
now I have to see look now.
I'll let you guys look because I don't think.
April 2nd is Sunday. April 3rd is Monday. That's my daughter's birthday.
April 4th.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Okay. So now that we've settled that. So and they're looking for people to phone bank, postcards, all that stuff to get people out to vote. So, special elections are typically, or, I don't know if this is a special election, but it's it's not one that coincides with the general election or,
it's an off-time election. This is not a normal.
Which is honestly, they do that too, so that they hope the Democrats will stay home.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Democrats have come to the realization that they have to show up for every election or lose our democracy.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about
every election is the most important one?
Yeah, every election. True.
So should we talk about the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about?
Oh, which elephant?
We're not on indictment watch here, right?
That elephant.
We were already saying, like, we were saying by Sunday or Monday, we were saying, who besides Trump is saying he's going to be arrested on Tuesday?
He said it. Doesn't, he's a known liar. Why is everybody jumping on that? Like it's for real.
But he sure did trigger all of the cable news networks. I mean, which was the goal, right? I mean, it's like they're all on indictment watch, and this actually started, in my opinion, it started when Bragg fought to get people in to testify. So there was Michael Cohen and then Trump was going to send this guy in to testify, and the cable news network started saying, well, if they're that close to Trump, then they're close to the end. Blah blah blah. Indictment is coming.
It's happening. Like rulings are coming down. Things are happening. People are testifying and stuff.
Things are all happening at once, but
in all different tentacles of the all the.
And it's a huge big squeeze. I mean, so today we had Judge Beryl Howell, who ordered, I'm going to just read this off. Meadows, Scavino, O'Brien, Ratcliffe, Cuccinelli, McEntee, Nick Luna, and Stephen Miller, all to testify.
They have to talk.
What happens to nicer snakes?
Right? I mean, that's the core of the core right there.
That's the inner circle.
Right. And that's
the inner circle.
So there's that. And then there's Trump's lawyer, Evan Corcoran, also had to testify.
Yep. And that happened with rapid. That was like lightning speed. They were like, okay, we'll hear your appeal. You have 6 hours.
Right.
And then, you have till midnight. And then I'm making a decision by 6 a.m. and boom.
And that wasn't just one judge. That was a Court of Appeals panel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They weren't fucking around.
Did you have I had the impression that unless there was some shocking development that was going to be filed in that 6-hour filing, that they'd made up their mind.
But they didn't have to go through the motions.
Huh?
They were just going through the motions.
Right. I mean, they were making a record so that thing, they did the thing.
They did the thing. They checked the box.
Right.
But they weren't gonna let him play. They weren't gonna let him play them to prolong the process,
delay game, right?
So that they just weren't going to do it.
Right.
And good for them.
Right. So he testified. He testified yesterday, and then he came back and testified today, and I guess left after 3.5 hours or so.
Yeah.
And so Jack Smith has like several different prongs going, like the list of miscreants that I said before. All of those guys are in connection with January 6th. Yeah. And then Corcoran was in connection with
Mar-a-Lago papers.
Mar-a-Lago, the documents.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, and then you've got Alvin Bragg with Stormy Daniels, and we haven't heard word one from Fani Willis.
I mean,
she's the one whose indictments I really wanted to drop because she's the one that's going after the RICO charges.
But for RICO charges, don't you have to have cooperation from other states and stuff? I mean, that might be the most complicated one to
Arizona, Michigan. I mean, all those people with fake electors, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's like she has to gather from all these other states.
And she's been working on it.
Yeah. So
and they passed a law that can actually take her off the case in Georgia.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah. They passed a law in Georgia that they can actually remove her as DA.
So
there's that too.
Because that's not like
utterly unconstitutional in my opinion. I mean, it's
thank you. I'm losing my words.
Yeah, anyway, it is no wonder, we talked earlier about Trump inciting violence. This is why he has been so very unhinged.
Right.
Plus, it gives him a chance to raise another, whatever, $1.5 million or however much he's raised.
You guys, you know what? $1.5 million is not that much.
It's not that
much. That was in a couple of days.
In a couple of days, but I mean, Katie Porter raised $3 million in 24 hours following her announcement for Senate.
Yeah.
Just to give you, I'm not saying any of that's great, but I'm just saying to give you an idea. $1.5 million is not like, oh my God, he raised. I mean, do you remember the good old days when Obama was running in 2008 and we were all just for the first time like giving and everything, and he would raise like 10 million in 24 hours. I mean, it was like amazing what he would get.
Well, perhaps the MAGA core is tired of giving him money.
Maybe they don't have any more.
I was going to thank you, Karoli.
And the games where, you have to look very carefully or else you are committing to a monthly donation.
Not like half of them are dead from COVID and the other half are poor.
Right.
Another third are in jail.
Yeah.
Well, right. The interest rates going up means they're paying more for everything. So yeah, I mean, it's not great.
No.
No,
it's not.
But anyway, I mean there's so much going on right now and the squeeze is on. He's going to go out there and vent and in Waco of all places for I'm guessing it'll be an hour and a half that he'll just go on and on and on.
But that's what he does.
I know.
And
who's going to introduce him? You think he'll have Kimbo introduce him?
I heard something that none of the Texas congressional reps are going to be there.
Oh, no, nobody's going. That's why I'm asking. None of the Texas, they all have other things to do. Unfortunately, we have prior commitments. All of them. Gee, they're all so busy on this random March weekend.
Right.
Well, that's
indeed.
Why.
So, I'm just,
Yeah, even Ronnie Jackson, huh?
Even Ronnie Jackson. That's
Jackson
interesting. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, is washing his hair that night,
Huh. Well, live and learn, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll get to see him dance.
Don't do wall-to-wall coverage.
Yeah. So.
I'll be right back. I have to get some more ice. Carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
Oh, boy. I'm looking at the notes that I made and...
Oh, we should talk about Florida, huh?
We should talk about Florida.
We'll wait for Aliza to come back. She'll have something to say, I'm sure. But anyway, in the meantime, there is good news out of Florida, by the way. All the employees at Disney World are going to get paid a minimum of $18 an hour. Thank you, Abigail Disney, for making that happen.
Plus,
so that's good.
They are hosting a big LGBTQ plus conference for the next couple of years at Disney World. Take that, DeSantis.
Right. All the gays come into Disney World. Bye-bye, Ron DeSantis. I mean, honestly, like activism-wise, the people I know that are gay activists are some of the most committed and dedicated and hardworking isn't the right word. I mean, they're like 24/7 activism.
It is ridiculous in 2023 that we are still fighting this shit.
I agree.
Oh, you started talking about abortion, didn't you?
No, we started talking about
LGBTQ.
Yeah.
In Right.
And I mean, like the most instructive thing on Twitter has been, the parade of pastors, youth pastors who are elected, who are arrested.
Arrested.
Yeah.
Arrested for child molestation.
Yep.
Or teachers at Christian academies.
Yeah,
yes,
they're not drag
those
queens.
two.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had I subscribe to the Roy's Report, which actually that's their specialty. Julie Roy's, she reports on all this stuff. So, and every day something lands in my email box, every single day about all
How do you
this
spell
stuff.
that?
ROYS, the Roy's Report. So, and she's great. She definitely, has her finger on the pulse of Southern Baptist
Yep.
misbehavior. But anyway, we were talking about the fact that Disney, two things. Disney is raising their wages to $18 an hour.
Oh, nice.
For all their Disney
that.
World employees, and they're having two, big LGBTQ conferences at Disney
They're having
World.
a big gay conference.
Yeah. So take that, Ron DeSantis. And everything. But we didn't talk about yet is the principal that was basically pressured into resigning, but really got fired because she allowed students to see David's Michelangelo. And apparently some parents were exercised because
my God, it's you.
Their little darlings saw a nude man.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this is like my mind can't.
Was it elementary school?
6th graders.
Yeah. I mean, these kids are, as John pointed out to me, John Amato, these kids are watching porn on their phone. Like they haven't seen it. Yeah. So please, give me a break with the poor little darlings being traumatized by seeing a man's penis in a sculpture. One of the most amazing works of art ever.
It is. It's just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling that anyone would object to the Renaissance, right?
Right. I mean, I do remember, they have a statue.
From art.
Didn't they put, like in Victorian times, they put a fig leaf over him, I guess, right?
They did do that in like the 1600s.
Mm-hmm.
They covered him up, and they also covered up some of the paintings, like at the Sistine Chapel. And because, Adam is nude too, because God didn't create clothes for him.
I mean,
and then it was removed because as it should be.
Right.
And
it's just so stupid. Like, honestly,
then you
I can't imagine.
Then you have hope for humanity because there's a parent in Salt Lake City, Utah, who's asking that all the Bibles be removed from
because of all the sex and violence.
Yes, because of all the sex.
Right.
But
violence is okay.
There's a lot of hypocrisy and other things too. I mean,
Republicans don't object to hypocrisy.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But
no, but I like that approach, going for the sex. That works for me, in the Bible, if you want to do that. I mean, the whole thing is so stupid.
The whole creation story center around sex?
Not really.
Being expelled from Eden?
The fall from Eden does, but the creation story doesn't. But I mean, it's just stupid. It's like, why are you afraid to expose your children to ideas? Right? That's the whole point. You're supposed to do that.
That's the whole point. They don't want to expose their children to ideas.
Because they're afraid of stupid stuff.
People who are different from them. They don't want to expose their children to ideas that are different from theirs. I mean, I understand that. I was terrified that my daughter was going to rebel and turn out to be a, an Alex P. Keaton, a little Republican. And instead I got a Bernie bro, so it's all good.
Right. But I mean, seriously though, like banning books and the books they're banning are just crazy. Right? I mean, the Handmaid's Tale and
Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Toni Morrison.
Right. I mean, banning books should be pushed to the Supreme Court. And I honestly don't understand why Democrats aren't trying to do that.
I think
they should. I mean, why are they not fighting more? Well, you know what? I mean, somebody should be fighting this all the way to the Supreme Court. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like there shouldn't be.
We know that they're not. I mean, like what are the recourses when
I think you have to sue the school districts for the ones that ban books. You have to see, and here's where the infrastructure matters, okay? Because Republicans have an infrastructure that they build in high school, right? Yeah. They recruit kids out of high school, they help them get through college, and then they put them into law school, and then they get them
and then
in nonprofits, or they put them in,
society.
Right, in one of those places, and so they have a whole feeder system that starts in high school, and they have a whole legal, like all these tentacles, right, that are out there that you just mentioned. Yeah. Right. And so we don't have that. We don't have that same, we have like some infrastructure, but not a lot.
Unfortunately, George Soros is interested in humanitarian causes and not really interested in building democratic infrastructure. We don't all work for George Soros.
Well, it's true.
And he's
I've been waiting now. I've been waiting for 14 years. No, I haven't gotten one yet. 15 years even.
Well, you're not a Jew.
Well, I don't have it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of us do. It's not right.
No.
It's not right.
So, but I mean, there's other people, right? That there are other Democratic billionaires who might. I know.
A few. we got a few on the list,
right? Who I know I personally nagged to build the infrastructure instead of running for office.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I still have that recording somewhere. Yeah, but anyway,
it's not as much fun.
But I would like to see, like, I see in the House, I'm seeing a lot of good messaging coming from Democrats. And so I'm not here to criticize Democrats that are elected, that are doing their jobs right now.
Yes. And there are a lot of them.
Right. But I am here to say that there needs to be, I think, a whole lot more activism around this book, the fascism that's going on. In other words, we can't just accept it. And Charlie Pierce came the closest to saying it that I've seen yet. He, in his column today, where he basically said the press you can't do what you've been doing anymore. You have to report what's happening as fascism. You have to. It's going to shatter like all your norms, but this is what you have to do.
They never will.
I don't think so either. But
they won't, because the New York Times, they continue to both sides everything.
They don't just continue to both sides everything. They continue to write fluff pieces. About fascists. It's not even that they're both sidesing.
What is it that they did? They did a Trump article where they said that he was
where he was humble. He was starting out humble with humble things this time. And I was chastised by somebody because they said, if you read the article, you would know that he's criticizing Trump. Really? I did read the article before.
Yeah,
and first of all, the tweet was really bad. And second of all, that article didn't do anything but basically, talk up what he was doing. I mean, humble.
And Red Paint, our friend Red had a great response on Twitter. She said, I would love to see the fluff piece you would have done about Hitler.
Yeah. And somebody produced it. I mean, they have one, right? I've seen it.
They did.
So, Yeah, somebody produced it, but
underneath.
But I mean, my response to that was that, saying I am your retribution is hardly humble. I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
I am your retribution.
right. Exactly.
It sounds like a song.
Otherwise, we'd just be crying so much.
I know. Well, you have to
I'm on my
laugh.
way. Why am I the only? Oh, it's only 2 o'clock.
I don't know. Yeah, well, no, it's 3.
It's 3 o'clock now. You guys should be. Come on.
Yeah, well, I've been tempted.
I
keep seeing you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's been a day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess.
I'm feeling like we should just wrap this up and go get some alcohol, Karoli.
Oh my God, it's only 45 minutes in. We can't do that.
Sure we can. We can do whatever we want.
That's true.
It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Can we talk about fun things? We haven't talked about TV in a while.
Oh, it was fun seeing the Ted Lasso people at the White House, and
yes, it was.
It was fun seeing them. Has the second episode come out? I guess it has.
That came out. It was good. It was
like, this is some bullshit we have to wait every week. My husband is like, he's because we watched the first episode last week and then that was it. And we are like, wait,
now you got to wait.
What? We're like, oh my God, it's on Apple TV. So we have to wait every week for it. And we're like, you know what?
You have to wait.
I am so over. This is the way we used to do things all the time. But, we're so spoiled. We need to binge. But yeah,
it's
so there's
true.
that. And so that's fun that's come out. Loving Shrinking.
That is so good. And the last episode, I think, dropped either last night or today. So
I think that's a Friday night thing. So it might have. I think that's today.
Great.
Just give Harrison Ford his Emmy already.
Harrison Ford
give it to him.
Makes that show.
Give it to him already.
Yeah.
He's gonna give him all the Emmys. Everybody's Emmy. Give him best actress. Give him best director. Give him best.
I love that Harrison Ford is doing TV now.
He is
here for the first episode of 1923, and we dropped it. But I just love him in Shrinking.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
My kids introduced me to Kunk on Earth.
And where do we see that?
That is on Netflix, I believe. But that is with, I think her name is Sarah Morgan. And she is a British actress. She was in Ricky Gervais' Life After, what was it? Was it Afterlife?
Right.
And probably a million other things, but that's what introduced her to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a mockumentary, and it is a scream. I think there are 6 episodes so far.
Okay.
And she is an absolute laugh riot.
All right. I have to look at that. I need to laugh.
Please watch it.
I will.
Kunk on Earth, CUNK.
Yes, I've seen it written down places. I just didn't know much about it. Now I've got a recommendation from you.
It is absurd, British absurdity at on such a high level.
We like that. And my husband, the Trekkie, has been really enjoying this final series of Picard.
The final season, I'm hearing great things about it.
They're bringing back all the next generation.
Everybody.
It's really fun.
So, but here's the thing: you need to have seen the first 2 seasons to get into it.
No, you can still enjoy it.
Okay, because I didn't really get into the first 2 seasons.
No, there are stakes. You don't have to know the relationships. I mean, I think it adds depth to see your old friends.
Yeah.
But I think that you can also enjoy it. And I think that the younger characters, I think they can carry on with a spin-off with the characters who are not from the next generation, which are the last generation.
Yeah.
40 years ago. That was 40 years ago.
Next Generation was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
80s.
Yeah.
I was friends with one of the writers of that show. I remember.
That's not possible.
It is.
It was the 80s.
No,
It
it's
was
not.
83,
It's the 80s.
84.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Well, gee.
And Poker Face, that's the other one I'm enjoying a lot.
Poker Face is great. Yeah, it's super fun all the way through. I can't wait for the next season of that. So
have you noticed
we've been
the
watching.
font they use?
The titles are exactly like Universal shows from the 1970s.
The font they use is the same font they used on Columbo.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
And Rockford Files, and all those.
I was going to say it wasn't just Columbo; it's everybody.
Every 70s and 80s, detective. It's so great. It's so.
We started watching some of the old Columbos after watching Poker Face, and it was
now
fun to
they're
watch
on.
those
Now
too.
they're on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
So like all 10 seasons or something.
Columbo, Rockford.
So great.
Yeah. We watched Perry Mason. We're still catching up on the first season of Perry Mason. We stopped watching it and then we went back. So we've got like 3 episodes left, and then we'll start the new season.
That was very good.
I love Matthew Rhys, though. I mean,
oh, he's wonderful.
How is that?
awesome.
You're talking about the remake, right, or the reboot?
Yeah. The first season was very good. It's very dark.
Yeah,
good.
But I love Matthew Rhys,
and I love all the LA locations.
Me too. Me too. It's fun just to try to figure out some of them too.
1930s.
I'll bet for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So speaking of locations, the second to last episode of Poker Face was shot in the gas station, not even half a mile up the road from my parents' place, in a place called Tetta's.
Oh, that's cool.
So she really did travel.
They didn't even change the name. Like, it's called Tetta's.
Yeah.
Dave was like, holy shit, that's Tetta's. And that's the we get pizza there. My dad runs up there to get a quart of milk. It's like, I got to tell my parents to watch this episode. It's wild. It's wild. It's a little gas station, a little convenience store, and they have phenomenal pizza, like really good pizza. And
so never in upstate New York.
But it was supposed to be in Colorado. Like, the episode takes place in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Right. So she didn't go out
because there's tons of snow and it's mountainy, but that's where they live, right? In upstate New York, right? And so they just were filming it there, but the episode, pretending it's Colorado. So they took like this random one. It's not a chain store or anything like that. There's this random, like convenience store / gas station. They filmed it. We were dying. We got to have my parents watch it. Tetta's, it's great.
Well, as a Los Angeles native, one of my favorite things to do is to look at the locations,
spot all the places
where they really are.
Yeah.
We had no idea. It totally surprised us. We weren't like looking for it. It was just like, what? They didn't even change the name.
No, it's fun. And the same thing with Doctor Who, because they shoot Doctor Who in my husband's hometown at Cardiff. And
nice.
There'll be things and it's supposed to be London, and goes, no, that's downtown Cardiff. We shot them,
Fun.
All illusion.
We really did veer away from politics, but that was
well, I think we needed to.
Dark.
Honestly, there's like only so much indictment watch you can have all week before, you want to start drinking and thinking about other things like what you're going to watch on TV.
Yeah.
So I get that. I think it's fine. Probably anybody who watches to the end will think it's fine too.
I think so. I think they're with us.
So
everybody, hopefully they've got some recommendations.
Anybody who watched to the end, message us. What are you watching these days?
Yeah, I want to know.
We need
we
need good things to watch when we turn it off from the cable news.
Yeah, and we can always recommend them right at the end.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we should do that. We should take viewer recommendations and put them on next time.
Here we are.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
Let us know.
Let us know. That's our show for the week. Join us next week on YouTube, MOMocrats.buzzsprout.com, your favorite podcast service such as iTunes, Google, and Amazon Music, and check our Facebook page for updates. I'm Donna Schwartz Mills with Karoli and Aliza saying goodbye for the MOMocrats. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
MOMocrats Mama Chats, part of the Demcast family of podcasts.